Okay, so I work with some kids sometimes, actually weekly basis. I volunteer. It's at a daycare, and these kids are a little rowdy, right? They're a little rambunctious. They don't sit still much. Kindergarten through second grade, and I was working with them just a week ago, and we went through this book, Had a Little Rooster, and it was fun. There's animal sounds. We had a great time, and when I finished, they were quiet, like sitting still and quiet. I've never seen them sit still like this. And they were just sitting still and they were quiet. And it was just like, okay, wait a second. I've got an opportunity here. And so I decided to, call an audible and do something different because there was clearly a teaching moment, right? And I didn't move on. This is what I did. I played a major scale. And just let them hear it. And then I said, how does that make you feel? And they said, happy. I said, oh, okay, good. What about this? And I played a minor scale. And it's like, well, how does that make you feel? They said, well, sad, right? Now that makes a lot of sense because most American music is based on the major scale. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, right? And it's happier music, right? In America, we like to only feel happy, right? And then maybe a little sad sometimes, but just go back to happy, right? We don't like to process our feelings. So then there's also a lot of like breakup songs and things like that are in minor, right? So there's some minor, right? Okay. So then I moved on to just kind of some scales, right? Just 5 notes of a scale. And I said, okay, back to the kids, right? Back to the kids. I'm like, how does this make you feel? Just the first 5 notes of the major scale, the Ionian scale. He said, happy. I'm like, okay, all right, how about this? It's the minor scale. He said, sad. I'm like, okay, how about this? And they were quiet, and one kid piped up and said, mad. I was like, they got it. So what I did was I played the Phrygian scale, the first 5 notes of the Phrygian scale. It has a lowered second. So if the major scale is do, re, mi, fa, sol, and the minor scale is do, re, mi, fa, sol, the Phrygian scale is do, ra. It's the lowered second. Do, ra, mi, fa, sol. And Phrygian scales are used in music too. It's used in hip hop and rap and actually heavy metal. And those are more frustrated musical art forms, right? There's some cultural reasons for that. People who don't believe they fit in, right? To society for whatever reasons, social reasons, and racism or whatever, right? So there's reasons for that. But the kids, they recognized the feelings. And it got me thinking, like, we have happy songs that help us to do happy things. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands, all these things, right? Then we even have sad songs to deal with sad things. And breakup songs are the perfect example of that. They help us to process a breakup. And then, of course, there are Phrygian songs, right? More frustrated songs. I call it frustrated, right? They call it mad. I call it frustrated. They help people deal with that, right? But why aren't we teaching our kids Phrygian songs? If you teach them Snoop Dogg's Gin and Juice, right? That's probably not the correct message that you want to send to these kids, gin and juice, like alcohol, right? And if you were going to heavy metal, I mean, Symphony of Destruction, destruction is probably not what you want to do, right? But what if we would simply write some songs to help their kids or help kids deal with frustration? Now, stay with me a little bit, okay? in songwriting and in songs, one of the most common chord progressions is 1, 4, 1, 5, right? So, so if we're in the key of G major, resolve back to 1, right? Okay. So if we're doing minor, the 1, 4 would be right 1, 4, 1. Now, if we wanted to, I'm just skipping ahead. If we wanted to go to Phrygian, what we'd do is we'd actually put a diminished 5th chord in there, diminished 5. So it'd be, then add the B diminished, right? But then we'd actually resolve it to minor, because that's what Phrygian regularly does. Now, there's a chord progression in a Metallica song, right? That is a great minor resolution. Right? So what if we had a song whose chorus is the minor resolution, right? And I haven't figured out the whole song yet, but what do we teach our kids on how to deal with things? What's something that if you go to a counselor or somebody, we teach them 2 things. There's 2 coping mechanisms. One is counting, the other is breathing, right? So using the chord progression, the minor one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Breathe. 10. I can do that better. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Breathe. 10. Yeah. I've been working with some hymns. How Great Thou Art is actually a hymn that it's actually written in Phrygian, a very simple Phrygian. But I've been dealing with that and dealing with some chord progressions and playing around. But you can actually, I'm going to sing the hymn, songs, right? So, and it talks about birds singing sweetly in the trees, but those lyrics don't quite work. But let me show you an example of what could be a verse, right? With that progression. When through the woods and forest glades I wander and hear the birds sing sweet. Oh man, it's hard. I'm not used to that chord. Sweetly in the trees. Try that again. When through the, I'm not a very good guitar player. I'm functional, right? Especially with diminished chords. When through the woods and forest glades I wander and hear the birds sing sweetly in the trees. Right? That little diminished chord might be a little magic to help kids deal with frustration. Just a thought. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Breathe. 10. I think I'm gonna teach that a little bit to the kids today. So anyway, let's use music to help us feel our feelings. Just my thoughts.